Now, with the predominance of the majority of these tools here inside Vertex, Edge, and some of the tools in polygon mode, border mode is typically not utilized for very much. There's only a couple tools in here that we'll really worry about. Most of the basic stuff, repeat last and slice plane and quick slice, and all these guys that you've seen in the other sub-object modes work exactly the same. All of our alignment tools, etc. The paint deformation tools are still here and all of that. But here under the actual edit borders mode, the majority of the ones that we're only going to really focus on is probably the cap tool. Now, if we had an open polygon here, for example, let's say there was a hole inside of this mesh. If we switch to border mode, when we drag select, really all that border mode does is it identifies and tells us where there is a hole in the mesh. Now, once we've identified where that hole is, one of the things that we can do is drag select and we can use the cap tool. If we left click on that, that's actually going to close that hole and solidify the mesh. And so, for example, if we do one more cylindrical shape, one thing that's very helpful is if, let's say, we had, several of these polygons that were deleted out and we wanted to cap this, is all we would need to do is we could literally hit Control A to select all, and this will select all open borders, and then we can use that cap tool, and that will seal off the mesh. Now, there is one other function that's fairly handy, and this is very similar to a tool in the Edge mode, which I'll demonstrate both for you. And what that is that if you grab an open border with any selection, if you hold down the Shift key and the Move tool, this will actually allow you to move that edge, or rather that border, up and down in 3D space. And so from here, for example, we could quickly, just using the Shift tool and dragging it up, or we could even switch to scale, hold down Shift and scale it inward. This makes it very quick and easy to create a very unusual shape using just the border mode and the Shift tool. But other than that, other than the cap tool, it's probably the majority of what you're going to use border mode for. Now, that trick that I showed you is also useful in Edge mode. And so, for example, if we switch back to Edge mode and we drag select all of these edges and then hold down Alt to deselect, it basically works exactly the same, even though we are in Edge mode. And so let's go back to our box over here, delete out a polygon, and let's say we grab one single edge. If we hold down the Shift key, this will allow us to drag out just that individual edge and create a new polygon in conjunction with it. And so you can see we have sort of this open, maybe it's like a mouse trap or something. But from here, we could go along any of the extra edges if we wanted to, hold down Shift, and drag that out. So it's a really handy tool for edge modeling or throwing down additional shapes if you have something where you have an open space. You could either use the border mode or the Edge tool with the Shift tool. But that's probably the majority of it.